It's time for your daily dose of all things Chicago sports. This is the Daily Score. Now, here's your host, Mark Grote.
The Bears are back at Hallis Hall after that long ago Thursday night game where the Bears beat the Panthers by 3 points. They'll try to stack victories. They will be at Detroit on Sunday. I was out at Hallis Hall today. And of course, we all want to know if Justin Fields is indeed going to be the quarterback on Sunday at Detroit. I'll say that I would say it's probably 95% yes. However, Matt Eberflus would not give us the answer quite yet. He will wait until Wednesday to give at least a status report. Justin Fields does continue to practice. It looked like he had a little tape on the right thumb, but that can't even be confirmed at this point because we didn't talk to Justin Fields, and we talked to Flus before we watched Justin Fields practice. So I will give it a high probability rate that Justin Fields will return. Now, what Matt Eberflus was willing to discuss is what he is expecting to be better for the offense once Justin Fields does return.
Yeah, I would say that, like I told you before, the experience factor, him being in there, understanding the whole offense, which Bagent, of course, like as we have discussed, was able to chunk a bunch of information, and we're certainly pleased where he is. But being that, he's been through it a whole year, understands the concepts, really I'd probably say that is part of it. And then the ability to stretch the field vertically and horizontally in the run game as well. And then having to be able to really focus on, in the passing game, the ability to run in a drop back pass or in a boot situation. So, and really hurt you that way. So there's a lot of things that he brings to the table. And again, when he's healthy, he'll be back. He'll be our starter, and we'll see where it is.
Has his time not playing made you appreciate him even more? Those things that you were just explaining?
Yeah, it's really appreciate both guys. Appreciate the young guy coming in for what he did, and also appreciate Justin, for what he brings to the table. Obviously his best game of this year was the Washington game. You certainly, point back to that game, and man, it was a heck of a game to watch. And, he really did a nice job of managing that game, really delivering, to our skill and letting those guys run. And during the course of that game, and obviously DJ was a big highlight of that, and our ability to run the ball as well was good.
That's the blueprint, right? I mean, is that the level that you are looking for the Washington game out of Justin Fields every time he goes out there?
Anytime a guy performs at a high level, that's where your mark is. You want to always shoot for that, and that's a big part of it, really, in anybody, anybody's performance. I'm sure DJ would point to that game, too, and say, yeah, I wish I played like that every single game.
Yeah, but that well, I just did a Flus, didn't I? Yeah. I do believe that is what they're looking for, though. Because that was the part where Justin Fields was winning a game with his arm, at least the Washington game. I think it's unrealistic probably to think that Justin Fields is going to continue to do that, but I do feel like that's what they're looking for out of him. And if they can get some semblance of that in the next 7 games, that'll make their evaluation on Justin Fields' future a whole lot easier. So hopefully eventually they can get to that place and stay in that place. But at this point, it's, it's hard to say or probably unrealistic to think that he's going to do that over the next 7 games or so. Here's another good question. So Teven Jenkins has been playing very well at right guard since taking over for Nate Davis, who's got the ankle sprain. Not that Nate Davis was playing bad, but he has been playing extraordinary football at right guard. He and Darnell Wright have been a potent combination, especially for the running game. So when Nate Davis, who did practice on Monday, when he does come back, when he is cleared to play, which could be soon, what happens? Does Nate Davis go back to right guard? Does Teven Jenkins switch back to left guard? What does it mean for Cody Whitehair? What does it mean for Lucas Patrick? Here's Matt Eberflus on all that.
Yeah, the combinations there are going to be a discussion that we have to have for sure. Nate's a good player, and Cody's a good player, and, Tevin's a good player. So it's a good problem to have, but we'll look at it and put our best 5 out there. We're going to put out there for the Lions.
You see Nate as flexible enough to play either side in the interior?
Yeah, I see both. I see really all three guys being able to flip and play. We just got to figure out the best combination, who's next to who, and what gives us the best spot.
Yeah, a lot of opinions on this, but I will stick to the one that I have been going with, and that is why mess with a good thing? I mean, in any sport, why mess with a good thing? And you have, and again, not that Nate Davis was bad, but there are moments of just straight up dominance when you have Teven Jenkins and Darnell Wright on that right side. So why you would screw with that, I don't know. I mean, the practical answers to that question would be that Nate Davis has never played left guard in the NFL, but it sounds like from what Matt Eberflus is saying, he'd be perfectly capable of doing that. Nate Davis was paid $33 million over 3 years to be the right guard. That was the understanding that he had when he came in. So I don't know how much all of that factors in to the decision, but assuming that Nate Davis can do a good job or as good of a job at left guard as right guard, to me, it's a no-brainer. You roll with what's hot. Nate Davis has been out since week 6 with that ankle injury. So that's that. One other guy on the right side of the offensive line, on those two guys, Teven Jenkins and Darnell Wright. I talked to Lucas Patrick about those two guys and what they have meant.
You get two super talented guys who put in the work every day. You see what shows, and they're moving people. They're playing well. I mean, there's a reason both of them were drafted where they were. I mean, they have so much talent, and they make me better. They make me strive to try and do some of the things they're doing, because not many people in this league can move people, lock down people the way they can.
So you're learning from two young guys like that.
We can learn. Everyone can learn from everyone. It's the best part about the NFL. As soon as you close your mind, you become complacent. Like, you can never become complacent. You always got to be growing. You always got to be learning. And I don't care who it's from. It could be from Mercedes, who's played, more than probably this whole locker room combined. Or it could be somebody who just walked in, like Darnell. I mean, he played big-time ball at Tennessee. It's, we're all trying to learn from everyone.
I love it. I don't talk to Lucas Patrick often, but when I do, he always says something interesting, and I love that attitude, that not only is he trying to help those guys, but he's also learning from those guys. That's enough on the offensive line for right now. Let's go back to Matt Eberflus, though, because they are playing the 7-2 Detroit Lions. The Lions coming off a 41-38 win over the Chargers. Detroit is 7-2. Their offense is a big part of it. So, Mr. Eberflus, what is it that makes the Detroit offense so good?
I would say balance. The ability to distribute the ball. And if you look at their production, where it comes from, obviously the backs are a big part of what they do. The addition of the new back that they have. Obviously an explosive player with Montgomery. I think that's a really a yin and a yang type of situation, really good for them. Obviously the rising of their tight end, Laporta, I think he does a really good job in that offense. And then their receiving core. You got St. Brown, who's a big part of their production as well. And those guys being able to distribute the ball to those guys equally. And that's what makes it so hard to defend.
Jim Gibbs, what have you seen on him as a rookie in terms of a guy who's really kind of seemed to hit a springboard here recently? Yeah, just the explosiveness. The same thing we saw when he was coming out. We all went down there and visited with him, and we certainly, really liked his tape coming out and the explosiveness that he brings, in the screen game, in the run game, the cutback ability, the ability to circle your defense and bounce it outside.
Yeah. Good stuff there from the Flus on, I mean that, like some good scouting on what the Lions are doing well. And, Jahmyr Gibbs is the rookie out of Alabama, 7 games, 476 yards, 4 TDs, he can catch the ball too, 200 yards receiving this year. Obviously, he's missed a couple of games due to injury, so take that into account when you look at his numbers. David Montgomery, our old buddy, coming off a 12-carry, 160-yard rushing game against the LA Chargers. LAC, that's what I call them. That's the way I talk. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 8 catches, 156 yards against the Chargers. And Sam Laporta, the kid out of Iowa, the tight end out of Iowa, 474 yards altogether this year, and 4 touchdowns to go along with that. We'll hear a ton more about the Lions throughout the week, but that's just a little snapshot of some of the names and the people that we're going to be focusing on for sure. Finally, one of my favorite people in the Bears locker room, Teven Jenkins, the Bears right guard, was on the score with Parkins and Spiegel And we have a little bit of something from that interview, courtesy of our executive producer, Ray Diaz. What you got, Ray?
Can we talk to you about your relationship with Mark Grote, our Bears beat reporter?
Oh, Mark.
Go.
All great things. He told me earlier, I'll say all great things.
He said to say great things. All right, because we wanted to ask you in particular, because you guys have had a few interesting interactions. Like, he asked you about the baked potato at Wendy's. That seemed like a ridiculous question to us. How did you feel like when he asked you about the baked potato?
Oh, I never even heard of that. I didn't even know it was a possibility. I didn't even know it was a thing.
Right. It was a bizarre follow-up question.
So Baconator, large strawberry lemonade, large fry. You get a 10-piece spicy nugget, and then for filling it, maybe a frosting.
Baked potato.
Like, what a ridiculous thing to ask.
Yeah, I never heard of anybody getting a baked potato at Wendy's before. Shout out to Mark with all that. He put me on a baked potato at Wendy's, but I don't think I'm gonna get it anytime soon.
Yeah, because you're not eating Wendy's these
you're
days,
eating healthy,
right? Exactly.
Oh,
hey, I'll try my best.
Good for you.
Hey,
don't we all
have a cheat day once in a while?
Yeah, don't we all, Teven? I feel you.
What's your cheat day these days? What does that look like?
You just heard it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's still the cheat day. Okay, my bad. Thought maybe better restaurants in Chicago had upgraded, but all right. Then wanted to play because this was an old one with you and Grote, and we still make fun of him to this day with how he ended this interview.
Well, give your fiance a big hug and take good care of her. And I really appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much, man. Let's do it again soon, okay?
Yes, sir. I really appreciate you.
Did Mark Grote need to remind you to give your fiance a hug?
Or did you hug her for Mark Grote? That's what we've been trying to figure out ever since.
Hey, come on now. Yeah, he's trying to help me out. He's trying to help me in that part. I'm giving Mark all the doubt right there. Hey, I understand. I believe him. And I love that he reminded me. Hey, everybody needs that reminder.
That's good. Yeah, you got to express love, right? Affection. That's good. And now she's your wife, so it worked. Maybe Mark Grote's advice helped in that
good
way.
Point.
Hey, guys, I'm telling you. You might be on the
Mark Grote has wisdom.
Love advice.
That's hilarious. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Teven. I did save his relationship, and I'm a little bit stunned that he doesn't want to get a bake. Hey, throw a baked potato in that bag, too. Give me a bacon double cheeseburger, a Biggie fries, a Frosty, and fire a baked potato in that bag, too. Oh, man. That was great. I figured that something like that was probably going to happen when I saw that he was going to be on the score at 320. That was absolutely delightful. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Thanks for listening. I'll be back tomorrow. For Ray Diaz, our outstanding executive producer, I'm Mark Grote for the Daily Score.